to one and all. I'm Divya Jain and I work at UI Engineering Studio. I'm a web UI developer and I heartily welcome you to UI Next.
Thank you, Divya, and thank you for being real quick there, because I don't intend to make this chivalrous audience wait anymore. But before starting, let me walk you through the code of conduct for the following 2 days. So this is what we want you to do and what we don't want you to do. So do tweet, ask questions, and a lot of them, share our YouTube live link, and connect. Please do not others let know how your cell phone rings. Please do not waste food or be late after the breaks. And please do not hoot or chit chat between the talks.
Sure, we will keep all these points in mind. And we all come from an era in which mobile phones were just a thought, and now we are just a thought away from everything and anything. Social media has become an influential part of our lives. So preserving this prominence, we are streaming live at our Globin's YouTube channel. Like, share, and let the world know that you are here. Also, we will be monitoring the tweets that you will be using to share your experience and comments. Make sure that you tweet using the hashtag UINext and you will win goodies. And for our lazy lads, we have an embedded link in the UI website video. And so let us know your experiences and your feedbacks. It is always amazing and a good experience on social media, but it is also an enriching experience to hear someone live. So let me introduce you to our studio partner who has worked with a wide spectrum of technologies at various organizations. He is a technology fanatic with more than 10 years of experience. He has seen the birth and the evolution of UI Globin's UI Studio. And so without a further delay, I will invite him to the stage.
So please join your hands for Ritesh Menon.
Thank you. Am I audible? The back? It's audible? All right. Okay. I hope this is the place you today on a sleepy Saturday morning. So my name is Ritesh Menon. I head the UI Engineering Studio at Globin, and I want to thank every one of you for being here. Like I said, on a Saturday morning, who wants to wake up and go to a conference, right? So to the many others who are watching this event live. So welcome to the second edition of our flag. All right, so I said second edition. So we've done, and this is the second time that we're doing it. We did the first edition last year, which is, it feels like just like yesterday, right? It's been a year since we did it, but it was an amazing experience. I just feel like it's just yesterday that we did that. Amazing experience because we've had huge learnings from it, and we've tried our best to incorporate those learnings into making this edition much better than the previous one. So we hope you enjoy it as much as we did putting it together. All right. So over the last 1 year, we've done numerous events, and because of which we have built a very strong, vibrant UI community around us. And this community has helped us not only learn from them, but also get it better at what we do. Right. So just to talk about what we've been doing in the last 1 year. In the last 1 year, we've done about 30 events in one calendar year in the form of meetups as well as webinars. Okay. As you can see, Flutter is pretty much prominent out there. So our tryst with Flutter started a year ago at UI Next, where we did an introductory talk on Flutter, and then we followed it up with a workshop. Okay. So thanks to Nikita, she'll be soon here, but for helping us out making that event a very big success, and she'll be here to continue with Flutter today. Okay. We've been doing webinars, like I said, which we label under the UI Orbit webinar series. Okay. So these are webinar series that happen on a weekday, 7:30 in the evening. So all of you can just dial in from home, listen, and we've got very good response because we talk about current generation technologies. So it's been an instant hit with the developer community, right? But we've also received a lot of suggestions and I would say softer complaints that we need to make these recordings available. So I promise you today that we'll actually make these recordings available soon. So please check back on our website, uiorbit.globin.com, for updates on when these recordings will be available, right? And hopefully that should quell all the grievances that people have around it. Okay. Okay, but who are we? So I talk about the UI Engineering Studio, but who are we? What's our identity? Right? So who we are can be summarized by this amazing quote by Walt Disney. Right? So taking a cue from this famous saying by Walt Disney, I would like to define ourselves as curious people, entrepreneurial people or enterprising people who are keen to explore new technologies with a single goal of creating new next generation intuitive and natural interfaces for our customers. So this curiosity and propensity to do new things and explore new frontiers is what defines us. That is our identity. That's how we would like to define UI engineering people out here. Okay. Everybody remembers this from the theory of Darwinism or the theory of natural selection? Okay. So no offense, I just took the liberty of actually using the same theory for the evolution of all the web languages, frameworks, libraries that we have, right? As you can see, we started out with plain JavaScript, HTML. If any of you have been working on YUI Dojo, I think most of you are pretty young, and we've seen the evolution come to here, right? So let me announce this: if any of you can name all these frameworks or all these libraries out here and tweet it, the first person to tweet it gets a goodie from us. With some of them are very obvious because you see the names out there. So backbone underscore, it's all out there, but take a picture, tweet, let's see if anybody can get that. Another thing is, so these are all the latest frameworks that you see out here, okay? But if any of you are working towards the right hand side or the left hand side of this screen for you, right, you probably pick up and you need to move here, okay? All right. So today we'll talk about another modern architectural development which is called as a micro frontends architecture. That's going to be the talk following this one, right? So stay tuned for that. All right. So with the evolution of, we've seen the evolution of cross-compiled technologies such as React Native and Flutter, foray beyond web development to other form factors, right? So if you've heard about Flutter getting into, it started out with mobile, now it's going into, desktop, web. So we'll talk about web as well today. And it's very interesting to see Kotlin also jump onto the bandwagon of web development, right? So we've been exploring these SDKs for a while now, and these SDKs are going to be a highlight of this conference too. Okay. Now with a plethora of options available for UI development, right? So developers usually get confused, are kind of lost, right? There's so many things that we need to learn. There's so many new paradigms, so many new languages to learn. It's probably onerous at times, right? But what's more important is the core concept of UI development hasn't changed, right? Even though the syntax is different, there is the commonality or the way you develop these components, the architectural principles remain the same, right? So Pawan today will talk about the common thread that binds UI development across these different platforms. It's a very interesting talk that we're going to have today about. Okay. All right. Last year, if some of you were here, we spoke about creating immersive experiences on the browser. Right, which is basically making augmented reality, virtual reality experience of the browser. If you remember the technology we spoke about, you can create these using WebVR, WebXR standards. So we presented our work on Amazon Sumerian last year. Right, so if let's get a bit nostalgic before I continue talking about it. Just a glimpse of what we had presented last year.
Hello there. Welcome to Globant. My name is Ada. I am designed to help you understand Globant's HR policies. Feel free to ask me questions.
All right. So what you saw out there, if in case you missed it out last year, is a very interesting piece of technology by Amazon called as Sumerian. It lets you create VR and AR experiences on the browser. Okay, and it has a very interesting feature as well, which helps you create a 3D host on the browser, a bot which talks to you like Alexa. Except in the case of Alexa, it's faceless, right? So out here you get a persona out there. This person is talking to you with gestures and hand movements and face, movements and everything all this. So it's pretty interesting, right? It's pretty engaging when you think of it. We also presented a POC that we did last year, that was about navigating through our office. When you came into our office, you saw it's like a maze, right? So finding conference rooms and finding our fellow colleagues is a very tough job, I would say, right? Yeah. It's very difficult to do that. So we created an application on the browser, which is an indoor office navigator. You feed in which conference room you're looking for, and then it guides you through that. So, but what good are these explorations if we don't put them to practical use, right? It's just a POC and that's it. Like it's like writing a Hello World application and boom, you get done with it, right? So we actually have taken that further For example, with Sumerian, what we are doing is we have the people champion out here. So what we are doing is working with the people champion to use advantages of Sumerian like face recognition and sentiment analysis to engage with our employees. Okay. So unfortunately, that's not ready yet. I can't talk about it now, but that's what we are trying to do with. Okay. So people look at this bot as a people champion and start asking questions, engage with them, give feedback. That's a step into the future. Okay. Let me show you what we have done with the Office Navigator. So when you walk around, you would see posters out there with QR codes which tell you looking for a Glober or a conference room, scan this and do that, right? So just play a video of that, what we have done here. So that's what we look out for every day, right? Who's getting sweets in office? So, but if you notice, right, what I mentioned that the common aspect here that it runs on a browser, right? Think of a browser. That's a software that is available on phone. We didn't ask people to install an app. We didn't ask them to install an app for dealing with Sumerian or a chatbot or to do this Office Navigator. All you have to do is just pull up your browser, right? The browser exists on every phone, which is why it's so powerful. It's such a powerful medium to get to the masses, right? You can have mass adoption of AR, VR experiences or immersive experiences with the browser. Okay. For a while now, we've been exploring this very interesting piece of technology by a company called as 8th Wall. Okay. If you have been going through all the advertisements for UNX, you must have seen them as a partner for us, 8th Wall. So 8th Wall has a very unique value proposition in their products. So they help you create, they're getting into the VR world, but they help you create AR experiences on the browser on any phone, right? If you look at the WebVR WebXR standard, typically works on Chrome and all, but these guys have been able to get it done on every phone, right? So if you haven't already noticed it, the badges hanging or lanyards, right, are equipped with that technology. So let me show you what we have on the badge.
With rapid advances in technology, the conventional definition of user interfaces is constantly getting challenged. Users expect their systems to be natural, humane, and considerate. Designers and developers are constantly exploring new avenues to build next-generation experiences for their end users across a myriad of channels. Join us at one of the biggest tech conferences on user interfaces on the 22nd and 23rd of February in the cultural and tech capital of Maharashtra, Pune.
Right. Thank you. That means that all of you are still awake. So, all right. So this is, I mean, it's not something that you have not seen before. There are so many apps out there where you scan a page or a marker out there and it starts playing video, but you had to install an app. So, still audible, right? Am I still audible? Okay. So I would say that I would encourage all of you to try it out now. If we're done with this talk, try it out. It's interesting, and explore the technology because it helps you create these AR experiences without writing a lot of code. Now that's a wow factor, right? You don't really need to know any particular language to do it. It's pretty quick. Configurations, pull, drag and drop, and boom, that's it. Right, moving on. We live in very interesting times where AI is on the rise, but natural intelligence is on the decline. All right, thank you. So you're with me. Okay, so when you talk about AI, right? Usually people are scared of AI because it's going to like take over the world. Machines are going to take over the world. Judgment Day is just like there, right? So don't worry, Judgment Day is still a little far away. I'm not saying it won't happen, but still a little far away. But why are we scared of AI? We're scared of AI because the thing that we don't understand frightens us the most, right? So we've been exploring AI for making our application smart, the entire system smart in Globant. But we also been thinking about how do we leverage the capability of AI or machine learning algorithms to make our web application smart. How do you bring in the power of AI or ML into your web application? Okay, so we've explored libraries, frameworks like TensorFlow, WebGazer, and stuff like that for incorporating face recognition, people detection, voice recognition, and gesture recognition. So I'll show you a few demos of what we have done. You will have your opportunity to experience this firsthand at our demo booths, which will be after the talk. So don't get disturbed about it. Right. So while it plays in a loop, right? What was the first application doing where you had this face recognition thing? It's privacy, information privacy, right? So you had what we did is we tried to create an application where if somebody peeks over your shoulder and to look at your bank account or confidential information, he'll recognize this is an unknown face and hide the information, right? And the other example that you saw this guy looking at it, what he was do was scrolling the page with his pupil movement, right? Very simple example, but it works on the browser. That's the wow factor. So these technologies are still getting better every day, but they hold a lot of promise, right? And it holds a lot of promise for all of you who are web developers or UI developers rather, right? So it's very easy. What we want to do is we want to help you understand that you can dispel the myth around AI, right? Just don't feel that it's something that is for mathematicians and statisticians or AI experts to do or data scientists, whatever, right? All of you can still incorporate it. And that's what we'll talk about today. That's going to be a theme of event as well. So look forward to interesting talks by Saurabh Rajpal, Dhananjay Kumar today in the later part of the day, where they'll talk about how you incorporate these into making your application smart. And like I said, you can experience these demos at the demo booths. Okay, so we looked at pupil detection, we looked at face recognition, we looked at, so we then look at voice recognition later. But how about gestures? So last year in my talk, I spoke about gesture recognition, right? So we have kind of been able to do it on the browser. So let's look at this video. This is actually a feedback wall that you will be using to give feedback. That's how we want you to give feedback today. Use gestures. Don't give the same response that she gave. So hopefully you like. She didn't like the food, but hopefully you like the food. Okay. So, and we want your feedback, of course, on how this works. It's an experimental piece of technology, but very promising, very engaging. Okay. All right. So moving on. These technology advancements in the field of AI and machine learning can be used to make the web accessible for everybody. right? Think of it, accessibility is a very important concept, right? So you use this to make information for each and every person. Every person with special needs should be able to access information, right? Accessibility is a very, very important concept for all of us at Globant. We believe that all our applications should be usable for each and every one, regardless of whatever their needs are, right? So our goal is to use these concepts, these technology advancements that we spoke about in the field of AI, repository of accessible components, so which we can imbibe into every application we build. Okay, that's our motive. Okay, so I spoke about accessibility, I spoke about and that, which means that we are very inclusive and diverse organization. We are very inclusive about people. Okay, and gender equality is the key to us. So all of you have seen this lady, right? Okay, so Ada is a symbol of all the wonderfully talented women that we have in our studio and in the industry as general. She's a tribute to Ada Lovelace. If all of you remember Ada Lovelace from history, no? Charles Babbage? Okay, so, all right, remember. So Ada used to work with Charles Babbage, and she's often credited as the first computer program in the world, right? And the first, she's usually often credited as one of the first computer programmers. I believe that she is the first because she was the first person to create an algorithm, right, for a machine. So that's where the name Ada comes from. Okay, and our goal this year at Globant is to have more tech events, encouraging women in the industry to excel in this tech industry, right? And this starting with UI Next. We actually pledge that we'll have more events promoting gender equality in the industry. Okay, and thanks to the Pune and the Ahmedabad chapters of Women Tech Makers and Women Code for supporting us in this endeavor. Take a big round of applause for them. Okay, so I won't take up much of your time. I think it's about 20 minutes, and we'll proceed with the rest of our talks. But I just want to let you know that this is going to be again, or remind you that it's going to be a 2-day event, fun-filled event, right? So we've designed and architected this entire event around you, for you to get inspired to learn new things, right? So enjoy, make the best of your time with us. The first day today is going to be more talks and, like I said, demo booths. So go to the booths, ask a lot of questions, which doesn't mean that you don't ask the speakers any questions. Make sure you ask questions, all right? And tomorrow is going to be more hands-on stuff, right? So we do things the old school way, which is hands-on coding. So look forward to that as well. So Saurabh and Nikita and Dhrumil are going to enthrall you with hands-on stuff tomorrow. So make the best of it, okay? Right. And well, before I wrap, I've been told that I need to announce the event open. It's probably customary of the host to kick off the event. So let me do that and not take up much of your time. So thank you and welcome to UI Next. That's all.